You are now
It's my first
alive.
one, dude.
Dude, you are in it to win it, man. You are in it to win it. Thank you so much for taking time to come onto our show and share with our guests all this wisdom and experience you've gained, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's dive right into the question of the day, which is the theme, the gifts of life and death. Anthony, how have these concepts, life, infinite possibilities, every moment is an opportunity, this moment is everything, and death, any moment it could be taken away. How has that shaped your perspective, and how'd you show up in life, man?
Man, it really just, to put it into perspective, man, it just made me crush each and every day. We're walking day in, day out, and you don't know if tomorrow's guaranteed. And so, especially diving into the world of entrepreneurship, man, just meeting a bunch of action takers, just people who squeeze every ounce of every minute out of every day just to, accomplish their goals and try to create the best possible environment for them, their family, people around them. It's been awesome, man. Like, so I've been to Thrive, been to all these events, and this is my first year, like, really diving into entrepreneurship. And so that embodies exactly what you just mentioned. So
I love it. I love it, man. Just taking that risk, living every day as if it's our last. And before we go any further, dude, shout out to Nicholas Barely and Amanda Barely, Billion Dollar Body, and the Billion Dollar Brotherhood. They are an amazing community and connected Anthony and I and other extremely high-achieving, high-performance men. Shout out to them. Thank you, guys. And Anthony, we're going to keep going with you, man. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing today and what you're creating.
Cool. So yeah, man, I'm pretty much on a mission, dude. I'm all fired up, dude. I've been reading a couple of these like spiritual enlightenment books, man, and I've been coming out with a course. It's dropping next week. It's all about personal finance, man. Trying to get people out of debt, trying to get people into their markets, investing not only in just business and stocks, real estate, but investing in themselves as people.
Yeah.
And so I'm pushing that real hard, but man, like, I figured out my why. And I think that, man, 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And so to me, that's a problem. So I'm out here just trying to educate as many people as I can on just the basics of personal finance and get them going, man, get them to financial freedom.
Yeah, and it's a problem and it's a gift because you have the abilities to solve that problem. You have the knowledge and the skill and the wisdom, and you have a better way for people to live and to show up in life, man. It's a blessing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, you know who sparked it too? You went to Thrive, right?
No, I didn't go.
Oh, okay. There was a speaker, Naveen Jain, and this guy had a book called Moonshot. And I know a lot of people, well, this is like a little off topic from finance.
It's perfect.
But a lot of people, they try to solve like too small of problems, like, oh, I'm going to come out with this podcast, or I'm going to do this seminar. So he really he made me say, hey, think bigger, solve bigger problems.
Dude.
And so I thought about it and I was like, man, the financial education in this country is just a huge problem that we need to address. So I'm on a huge mission, man. So
We'll love it, man. I love it. I'm the same way, man. Mixing technology, augmented reality, and personal development, giving that to every person on the planet. Like, imagine everyone walking around with Google Glass asking them, hey, do you want to choose better choices? Do you want to save money? Hey, do you want to go to the gym? Hey, do you want to write out your goals? Oh, man, like our personal accountability buddy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, dude, tell us more about the journey. How did you get to where we are today? What were some of the events, the challenges, because like you weren't always this big of a thinker. So tell us about those obstacles that you had to overcome to get here.
Well, it's crazy, man. Back when like 10 years ago, dude, I never would have thought I'd be here, man. I was kind of like a little delinquent child, man. I was getting like kicked out of school everywhere I went. And then finally, when I turned 18, I messed around, broke the law, and I was in debt to my eyeballs for the first 3 years. And I couldn't really get like a big boy job, or I couldn't, I had, misdemeanors on the record. So I was like sitting there Googling, like, how can I make money? Like, if I can't get a job.
Right.
And came across stock market trading, things like that. And dude, eventually just I've been trading it ever since. And I got very lucky with, I don't know if you remember Ebola. Remember that whole virus that came through? That's how I got my entire start into it. And just got lucky with a couple of short-term options. And then I was hooked from there.
Wow.
So now the last 5 years, just like mastering it, connecting with other traders, online mentors that have really showed me the ropes. And now I'm doing it with crypto. So it's exciting, man. But yeah, it's definitely some trials and tribulations, man. But it's awesome to see my transformation from 10 years ago to today. So like one message. People overestimate what they could do in 1 year, but underestimate what they could do in 10.
Yep. Dude, I love it, man. And we have Natalia Diane Sanchez out there saying, hi, what's up, Natalia? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So here's the thing. We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can do in 10. What was like the big stumbling blocks, or like in a year period or during those times? What kept you stuck? What about your mindset or your actions or your perspective didn't work for you?
I don't know, man. I didn't have a father figure in my life, and I was just going through a rough patch. And finally, I just woke up one day, kind of, it wasn't rock bottom, but I just hit a point where I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm halfway in jail. I'm sitting here going to court, from getting expelled from high school. So I just kind of, I woke up and just, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be a better person. And it started with that one initiative, and then, from there, just meeting people and hanging up better groups, just better groups. And then I was a terrible student, finally went to college, but I didn't exceed in college until I started hanging around people who wanted to do well in college, So that same concept, if you want to do good in college, hang around kids that are in the library after hours. And when I wanted to learn the stock market, I was literally like, I'm on the West Coast, so my ass had to be up at like 5 a.m. compared to some of the East Coast traders. And we would get in together and get in chat rooms every single morning. And we'd have like conference calls like this, and just looking for buy and sell signals, just helping each other, just growing together.
Wow.
So just constant support groups. And if you don't have a support group, they're out there now. How connected we are online,
dude.
Just make sure you got a team.
That's it, man. That's it. Lock arms with people. And, I think one of our biggest challenges as humans is when we attempt to do something on our own. And because of the human condition, our thoughts, our self-defeating thoughts, our, automatic mechanism, our monkey mind, our thing that, sabotages ourselves, it's just like wants to keep us safe, thank God. And we don't really need you anymore. We're very safe. We're very protected, and there's not danger like how it used to be in the animal kingdom when we were out in the wild hunter-gatherer kind of thing. So we're blessed to be able to lock arms with other people to really tap into that power of accountability, of someone seeing the greatness within you when you may not see it within yourself.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Dude, so I love it. I love it. Great foundation. And tell us a little bit more about like what you're doing today. Like what is it that you're trading? How are you focused on crypto? How are you teaching people? Educate us a little bit more.
Cool. So I just started my YouTube channel, man. So I'm like getting the whole personal brand out there. But right now it's focusing on cryptocurrency. I'm a little new to it, but I found it a little bit easier to trade than the stock market and options and things like that. So it's a little bit easier. So if you search my name, go on YouTube, you'll see exactly what the content I'm trying to put out.
Nice.
But just technical analysis, not really so much on the fundamental side, because with crypto, they're all so new. Right. We don't really know, some of these companies aren't even companies yet. They're just It's all ideas, So when you focus on the charts, they actually tell you something probably more than the fundamentals. So yeah, man, that's my focus right now, putting out the course and trying to just help everybody get to that point, which is not far away. It's very not.
Dude, it's close, man. Closer than we think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alexi says the environment is stronger than the willpower. That's powerful.
That is powerful.
It's powerful. So here's the thing, Anthony, what are the principles that we need to know to be more effective with our finances, to be more effective with an investor mindset? Let's start diving in, man.
Let's do it. I think my biggest thing, it's all about the mentality for most people. And it's kind of like that monster in the closet. A lot of people that I've met and talked with, they know that they've, have a lot of debt, behind that door. And it's kind of hard to just open it and tackle it and look at it head on, And so just facing the beast, getting a bird's eye view of your entire financial situation, knowing the interest rates, knowing, having a plan, knowing exactly, as long as you have a plan, you can attack it. And so for a lot of people, it's just, how do I take this chunk by chunk? Look at, okay, credit card 1, credit card 2, credit card 3. These are the interest rates. I'm going to attack this one first because it has the highest rate. We can go into consolidation tactics and all that. But my biggest piece of financial advice, what I try to tell all my friends, they'll say, how do I pay off debt and invest at the same time? And it's this principle that my mentor told me, and it's called paying yourself first. I believe in it. It was also in Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah.
But just 10% of everything you make pay yourself first. Like everybody gets their paycheck, everybody gets their, you know, all their money, and they pay their bills, they pay their car, they pay their mortgage first. But then at whatever's left over, they're like, okay, leftover money, but they forgot to pay themselves, you know. So make sure you're valuing your time. If 10%, and that's which is kind of lowballing it. You want to aim to like 15 to 20%. But even if you could just take 10% of your income, if $4,000, that means $400 a month is going to your investments portfolio, whatever you like. Or if you don't have an emergency savings fund, that's a great start to get that going.
Totally, man. So where do you think most people are dropping the ball with regards to, do they know this information, they're just not practicing it, or do you think they just don't know?
I think a lot of it is a combination of just don't know. And to be honest with you, our society, it's very heavily marketed to. And so I think a lot of people are just living above their means without realizing it, because everybody's got the new iPhone. And so if you don't have one, you're like, well, shit, I need that. You know, and in reality, like if you break it down, that iPhone X, like with that price tag, like you need to be making, you know, that's a significant purchase. And so I think just the way society is, it's very media driven. It's not that people don't know, but it's just more of like a societal standard to live a certain way. And from some of the top, like wealthiest people that I've ever known, and Gary Vee's a big speaker of this, he's like, man, I ate shit for 10 years to get where I'm at. And so I think it's that willingness to just stand up and say, okay, I have to live way below my means for 6 to 7 years before I can go out and really, you know, start living the life that I want to live.
Wow. Yeah. And that includes, I would say, that the health and the food, like we really want to eat quality stuff as often as possible, right? And whatever is, you know, below our means, but still good for us, you know? And I'm sure there's creative solutions. There's tons of like health coaches and health blogs and all kinds of videos that can give us access to the more affordable options for that. And that's like one of the places you probably don't want to cut from, but the place you do is the excess spending of, you know, luxuries, of fun, of, you know, movies, of entertainment, of travel, of eating out, like that kind of thing is really where you would target, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because like, I'm not eating in here, like eating ramen noodles and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, just cooking more meals. People will be shocked. Like once you actually, you know, set a budget and you audit every single dollar that you're spending, and you find out, you know, there's great apps for this. Good Budget, Ace Budget. There's a ton of free apps in the App Store that you can actually track every single dollar that you're spending throughout the month, and you'd be shocked. When I first did it, I was like, holy shit, I spent $300 on just like in and out, like just random things, you know? And so once you get that bird's eye view, you really, it hurts a little bit. You're just like, damn, that's like 2 shares of Apple.
Dang. You know? So when you have that strategic view, you're able to make better decisions.
Absolutely. It's because it's, you know, the way I like to see it, it's just that bird's eye view, you know, where all your dollars are going. But when you fail to open that closet door and actually stare it in the face and try to attack it, you just don't know. And that's the majority of the public. That's 76% of Americans. They just don't know. They charge it. They pay minimum payments. They have no idea that they're paying thousands in interest every year. So it's just kind of showcasing all of these problems. And how each solution, it's very small little, you know, tweak in habits that you can make. But at the end of a year, all those small habits, they, you know, they actually add up to a whole change in the way your financial life is.
Yeah, dude, it's powerful, man. Powerful. So what can we start doing to actually make progress and really gain some serious ground with our finances?
Well, I would say, first thing, like a lot of people got debt. So I would say the first thing would be, just getting a bird's eye view of just the debt. So like you got to put the interest rate down. You got to attack the highest interest rates first. And then one of the big subjects in my course is learning how to leverage your credit score to be able to consolidate some of that debt on 0 interest credit cards. Yeah. That's what I put my tuition on. Nice. And so as long as you have 0 interest for, you know, 21 months, you can actually consolidate very high interest credit cards onto one of those. And then just chip away, you know, minimum payment that while you can tackle something that has like a 19% interest rate, you know, so you can do debt consolidation strategies. Another thing that you could do immediately would be just budgeting, just setting a budget. You know, I'm shocked at how many people just don't have one. And so it takes a couple of months to get the hang of it. You know, you might say, oh, I'm going to allocate 75 to groceries. And if you consistently are going over, you know, up it up to maybe 100, but then take 25 away from something else. But it takes a couple of months, but that's what this course, it's designed to show you exactly how to set up everything, whether you're traditional, you want to use Excel spreadsheets, or you're a millennial and you want to use an app to do it. It covers all that.
Awesome. And you said you're creating this course, like it's already created, or you're still in process?
I'm wrapping it up right now. I'm on the last part, which there's the last two sections: investing and starting a business.
Awesome. What was it like building the course? How did you build it? Like, what was the process you went through?
Oh, it's hard, dude. I thought it was going to be something easy that I would just like bang out in like a couple of weeks.
Right.
Because for me, I've never been very loud on social media. So a part of this whole entrepreneur journey is like you get your personal brand out there, start sharing. You know, Brian was like all the micro content, repurposing it. Like I actually took mad notes with that guy.
Yep.
Because it's exactly what I'm going through now. But just the learning curve of video and YouTube and lighting and everything, you know, scripting, and it's rough. Editing, it's a big task. I completely underestimated it.
Wow. So you're doing the course now. Do you plan on writing a book as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
before I do the book though, I want to, like, the course is one thing, and that's how I think I can disseminate a lot of this information and help a lot of people. And the cool thing is I'm building a community around it. So everybody that enrolls in the course, they're not just going to be like watching a couple videos and then, you know, on their way. I'm building a private Facebook group where these people can actually be there with everybody else within the course. If anything is unclear, I'll be in there to, you know, help them one-on-one. We can grow together, share investment strategies together. It's really cool because, like I said, that community is everything. You know, like if all your friends are going out spending money and you're the only one not, you know, they're gonna egg you on a couple times and you're gonna break. So having just a solid, even if it's a digital community, you know, it works. I've seen it.
Dude, beautiful. Yeah. So in terms of the mistakes that people are making with their finances, what else might our audience be doing that we can highlight, put a spotlight on, so they can be more effective and you know, really save more money, generate more income, that kind of thing?
I guess immediately it's hard because everybody's at a different point in their journey. But you know, aside from the usual, like, you know, budgeting and like the paying yourself first concept is something I highly recommend everybody do. And for a lot of people, it might be hard at first. You know, so if you have to start with 5%, start with 5%, but just put it in a separate drawer. You know, if you get a salary, just your 2 paychecks, whatever it is each week, take 5-10% out and build an emergency savings fund. Because the way I see financial freedom, we have to start thinking of measurement of time. Okay, like a lot of people think, like, if I ask, you know, 10 people on the street what their idea of financial freedom was, they'd be like, well, you know, I need a Lamborghini and I need a nice house for the kids. I need this and that. But it's really all about how much time can you buy into the future without having to work, you know? And so if you have that concept of time, it like, for instance, that iPhone X, you know, that would actually, if you're making $26 an hour, that's going to actually cost you like 4 or 5 days of work just for that iPhone. Right. You know, so start thinking of every expense you make in the concept of time, and it makes the expenses more painful. And it helps you determine if you're living above your means, you know, because that's the number one problem I see, are people are just their spending habits are, you know, they're kind of outrageous.
So what do you think? I mean, it sounds like there's some core fundamental philosophies that are pretty simple, you know, live below your means, save, budget, like those are the core. So like, what is it that we can share with our audience that maybe they haven't heard before? Or is there anything else that you feel like people really need to get from this interview? Because, you know, I'm sure that they might have heard a couple of these things before, but like, how do we really reach them? How do we really impact them with this information right here, right now?
Well, I guess one of the deepest things that I've been diving into is, I don't know, this might be a little too out there, but
dude, let's go out there.
I think the American dream it needs to be redefined, repurposed, because just, you know, when you're told from a young age, and somebody was talking on it earlier at Adam Cortez, was he on here earlier?
Yep.
That man was touching on it, but they tell you to go to college, they tell you to buy a home and, you know, have your family, but the American dream is setting us up to fail. And so we're not realizing it. In the 50s, you could be a milkman, support a family, have a huge house, and, live a lavish life. But times have changed. And because of that, people need to understand that. And so I guess my biggest thing is understand that we're living in a society that's being heavily marketed to, and the American dream is no longer setting us up for success. And so with that, we need to push self-education, push the education of finance on everybody, which our school system is not doing. And so it just comes with, it's all about mindset and discipline and playing the long game and like, so none of these principles are super they're not secrets that you just could discover in an ancient book. They've all stood the test of time. And it's just a matter of staying disciplined and being able to see 10, 20 years down the line. And that's where a lot of people make the mistake. They'll try. It's like anything when you're trying to go to the gym and you go out you do it hard for a month and then you fall off the second month. Same thing with your finances. It's literally identical to like gym. You just have to maintain it consistently for a long time.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So I know you mentioned also that you have a philosophy about the education system that is going to revamp it. Why don't you share that with us, man?
Cool. So this course is one platform, but I wanted to, because just to be real, I went to college and I got my bachelor's degree. I did really well, and I haven't used it at all, really. And a part of the reason was I dove down the rabbit hole of entrepreneurship. But I think that if we can come up with a platform, and this is my idea, where I have a financial course, an investing course, and I bring on I partner with a bunch of awesome entrepreneurs out there that are absolutely crushing it. Not like the Ty Lopez type, but the dudes that are like really out there putting out quality content and awesome value. And we come up with a program where people can actually log on to this, pay for each one of their courses, whatever they want to learn in. And then we can go out and partner with, entrepreneurs that own, Fortune 500 businesses and almost show them the stats that, hey, if you hire our guys, they'll outperform somebody with a traditional bachelor's degree. And if we can actually prove that our guys can outperform, or our students can outperform, traditional college level students, I think the world will start to see that the 17% rise year over year in college tuition is no longer worth the ROI. And we can kind of shift focus and be like, okay, maybe we're not looking for college graduates anymore. Let's look for the one trait that these people are going to be driven and give you results. And that trait is knowing that knowledge is power, and the choice that you made to actually pay $100 for somebody's course and actually learn that yourself, without having a curriculum being, sold to you at a university. That trait right there, the most smartest minds and awesome people I've ever met were people like in this world who just like, I know I need that course, so I'm going to take that course. And it has no effect on a bachelor's degree or anything. So if we could just make that switch to self-education, I think we can make it happen.
Dude, you know what else I hear is, if you want to increase the value of your organization, your corporation, the organization's value is dictated by, is a function of the value of each of the people inside of it, right? And not only the skills and abilities that they have, but also their own personal worth and value that they see, right? Like, how much do they think that they are worth? And the people who educate themselves, who like give themselves that course, who take that course, they value themselves. They're willing to do that themselves. They're willing to invest in themselves because they know that they're worth it and that they matter, that they count, versus the people in the corporation who just go to the education, go to school and get a job. It's like, like my life's kind of whatever, but I just do this because this is the pattern. The entrepreneur-minded, the self-directed educators and educated are like more valuable because they value the growth, they value the bottom line, they value themselves, and they want to put themselves in a position that they value, and they make a difference, and they're able to grow their value.
Exactly, and they understand that concept. You can almost, their brain is almost just an open book at that point. That they are just willing to understand new concepts and just tackle them head on and really invest the time to get it done and learn something completely new. Versus a college kid who's just, hey, America said go to college and then get a degree, they're just going through the motions, just to zero in on that trait, like, hey, these guys are hungry. If you got a guy that literally, paid X amount of dollars for his own education, and he can prove that he can get tasks done, I think that will be the one point in time where universities might, kind of be outdated, and the new wave will come in.
That's beautiful, man. So what are some other personal development or self-education principles that you have picked up along your journey that you think our audience could benefit from?
Dude, so I'm just reading a ton. I'm currently diving all into sales, man. I feel like that's just one skill that it's never taught to you. And
Yep.
if you don't know that skill, nothing will, you'll never be successful. So,
Amen.
yeah. So if you're looking for something to get into, just get into sales, man. Like if you don't have that skill, because I'm coming out with a course right now, but if I can't sell that damn course, like what's it worth? So
You got it.
Perfecting your message. So I'm big into sales right now, but man, just any kind of, like, I'm reading all kinds of like spiritual enlightenment books right now, and just zeroing in on like meditation and living in the moment, everything we talked about when we first hopped on the call. But you put all that together, and that patience, that meditation, that patience, like, it helps in the finance game.
Yeah.
So when I'm telling people, like, none of this stuff is like shit you've never heard of, but when you take all of it together, you practice patience in the long game, and you stick to your plan, you're going to be fine. You'll get out of your debt. It might take you a year, it might take you a year and a half, depending on your financial situation, but it's just that consistency, support groups, and staying patient, sticking to the plan.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. I agree. I really love The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. It's a great. Yes, I felt it. I felt the force.
Dude,
I felt the force.
That book is killing me right now, dude. I can't put it down. It's so good.
Dude, I was like flying on a flight 3 hours from Cabo to California, and I was listening to it, and I was like transcribing it as I write. It was so powerful, dude. I was like, oh my God. I'm like listening about being present, writing. It was epic, man.
Dude, that book literally. So Naveen Jain, he has a book called Moonshot. Solve bigger problems. Like, this guy wants to colonize Mars, and he was like, okay, if your problem is not big enough, because here's his thing: entrepreneurs are going to be the one who colonize Mars before any government will. It's because the legislation just moves too slow, and NASA is not even getting funding half the time. And so, if you look at Elon Musk and these guys, they're going to be the ones that make real change. And that's what sparked me. And I was like, okay, we can wait around for legislation to change the way our education system is, or I can actually put together a nonprofit and get a bunch of people going out to these schools, teaching these kids, here's what compound interest is. Here's how a checking and savings account works. Here's how you register an LLC and take advantage of Donald Trump's new tax plan. So
dude,
I don't want to bring up politics, but
dude, hey, it's a law. Let's use it to our advantage.
that's my thing, and so that's I'm like, I got rid of cable a long time ago, just so I don't have to hear all that jazz. But at the same time,
preach.
But at the same time, if there's a tax plan that comes out, you bet your ass I'm gonna be flipping through every page. How can I use this to my advantage?
Dude, I love it, man. And you're mentioning about the the private corporations are more hungry to advance faster, to educate themselves more, to add more value, to innovate faster, and achieve these bigger things because it means more for their bottom line. It means more because they have like these big inspirational, aspirational goals, like getting to Mars. Whereas the government's like, let's get to Mars. Why not? Someday maybe.
Until a corporation gets there, and then all of a sudden they're like, shit, we got to get there too.
Yeah. But it's always playing catch up. The government's always playing catch up versus the organization, private organizations. They're like, we're doing this because our soul is called to do this, and this is our life's work, which is so much stronger of a driving force than, well, the people want us to do it.
Absolutely. Man, and that was another thing, I guess, what everybody could do, because this is what I did. I registered an LLC before I even knew what my business was. I had no idea what my business was.
Nice.
But I figured, like, for instance, right now I'm going to actually do some freelance work for Dell, just managing their social media. And the cool thing that you could do is if you have any type of skill or skill set where you could do freelance work, you can actually get hired through your LLC as like a contractor and run it through there. And you can, rather than run it through your personal, accounting and get taxed at a way higher level. So just having an LLC, especially if you register that in Delaware and you don't have any idea what you want to do yet, just having the business there can save you so much on taxes. So that's in that section in the course as well. So if anybody's and nowadays anybody can do freelance work. You can go on Fiverr, Upwork, and all those things. You can just do part-time stuff. Like if you have any type of skill in anything, dude, you can get hired out over there.
Underwater basket weaving. There's someone who needs it.
Yep, absolutely. You got your LLC, you're getting taxed less. You can write some stuff off. You can play the game, man.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful. What else is in the course? What else should we know about in the course, be excited about, or that you can share with us that's some good knowledge?
So once you break through all like the eliminating the debt and, the whole mindset game, I dive a little bit into starting a business and how to make more money, because I have a formula in there that shows people, hey, if you don't make any more money and you only aim for a 7 to 10%, return on your investment, you in 20 years, you'll have $1 million. Wow. And so that's the formula. But if you want to cut that down even further, you can get there faster by deciding to make more money. So at the very end of the course, I talk about, system strategies that you can implement to actually make money. So, start doing everything that we're doing on a daily basis, doing the freelance work, all of that, just different avenues that if people, they're looking to make more money and they're not like MLM scams or, that they're actually like legitimate ways where you can make money online. Online, you can do so much nowadays. So just really tackling like affiliate marketing, just kind of shedding the light on all these little things that you can do.
Dude, so powerful. So, Anthony, what do you say are some of your values that drive you to be successful, to accomplish, to achieve, to get up every day? What drives you?
To be honest, man, I'm a little mama's boy, man. So I wake up like that woman did so much for my ass growing up, and the shit I put her through was, it was too much I can't even imagine how she did it without strangling me. So, she might even be watching right now. I don't know, but if you are, mama, I wake up and I want to treat her right, man. I want to make up for all the delinquency I did in the past, and I want to put her in a house one day, so she doesn't have to worry. And aside from that, just pushing this message, man. I think the more people are educated on, basic finance principles, the better our economy is going to be in the long run. Because what we have, if you look at like macroeconomics, you have, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and middle class literally runs this economy. Right. And so the bigger that divide gets, and that's why we're not learning it in school. It's getting bigger and bigger every year. So the bigger we can push this message of like, hey, get your money right, get your finances right. The more businesses they can start, the more innovators that are going to get stirred up. Because to be honest, I had no idea that I was going to be going down entrepreneurship, but I started getting into the stock market and I started realizing like, okay, if I invest in Apple right before their earnings and their earnings are good, you start learning how business works. Yeah. So literally the stock market actually gave me a precursor to how businesses operate, how they make money. And so just having the foundation of finance will give you a better understanding of how business in general works. And then you'll get a business idea. I got a ton of them now. Now it's like, okay, now I need to focus, like get this course out and then hop to the next thing. But just having that solid understanding of finance does so much. It opens so many doors.
How do you think we could use social media more effectively with regards to finances?
That's a tough question. I personally, I'm just gonna be posting everywhere on social media, unique, funny ways, and I think just putting a sense of humor into it. Nobody wants to talk about finance, and nobody finds it entertaining. So I've even thought, I got a couple of influencers that I know. So I've been, running through them. I was like, how can we make this funny? How can we make something go viral? So there's one out of LA and I got a buddy in my hometown. So I'm going to be, looking to just see if I can spark some sense of humor in finance and make it enjoyable, make it.
What do you think you got to do to make that happen?
I don't know, man. Just outlandish YouTube antics. Like I'm 29, so now I'm like following all these young people on social media and just like, what are they doing? And they're eating what are those Tide tabs? I would never do that, but but you know, just kind of implementing that kind of stuff and bringing awareness to it, man.
God, dude,
It's a
that's
tall task. It's a tall task because if you, I even look at all the industry leaders. I'm like, okay, got Dave Ramsey out there. You know, he does his thing. Danny Johnson, but they're all just, you know, just this is what you do. You know, with the suit, you know, looking all sharp. So just bringing a young, like hip, you know, I use slang. I'm very open with it. So
yeah.
just kind of bringing that energy and that element to it. I think people might vibe out to it. If not, we'll see.
So I'm curious, like, how can you get more community, more spontaneity, more fun involved in it, like out in the world, you know? Like, I'm curious if there's local events or things like that that you can broadcast, or like a flash mob kind of thing, you know, in a park or a, you know, town square, and then film it and get a group of people together, you know, 5, 10, 20 people, whatever, that come in. You can do like a play, or you can do like a speech, you can do like this act or whatever it is, you know, a demonstration, you know, have people like dress up as dollars and cents and like something funny, crazy, I don't know, you know.
Dude, you always spark the best ideas. No joke. I remember at BDB Live, man, like you were like, why don't you just do that with finance? And I was like, you're right. Damn it. Because when I met you, I was thinking about doing this thing in marketing. And you're like, dude, if your whole thing is finance, just do that. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. And now here I am now on your show talking about it. And so that is a great idea. I think I'm going to go on Black Friday. I know it kind of passed, but on Black Friday at the mall, peak hours when everybody's like, you know, jumping over everybody, let's do a flash mob. Like, yo, you really need to spend this money right now? Yeah. Really? You know, because those sale signs, those aren't really sales. You know, you're still spending money. Yep. You know, well, I saved $400. You know, no, you spent $400. Yep. They're claiming that it's on sale. You know, maybe playing on that a little bit. But that is a great idea, man. You'll see my ass over there on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. And you know, like, using the it's called the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times. Like, what else is going on in our world, in our society? What else are like the pressure points, the trigger points, the pain points, the attention points, you know, like to like, say, the Me Too, you know, like the Me Too movement. How do you know, integrate money and finances with women and feeling heard? You know, you could be like, well, if men were better able to manage their money, they would be more confident providers and they wouldn't have to be jerks to women or whatever, right? Like, that one might be a little too sensitive, but
yeah. You know? Yeah. No, that's literally my task. Like, once this course is launched, my task after that is to just bring awareness to this, and so that's what I got to do, man. I'm going to be, you know, going up to all of these like social awareness, you know, hashtags and seeing, okay, what can I implement? How can I use them? Can I partner with one of them? So I do know a couple influencers back home, and so, you know, we're already, you know, kind of scheming how we're going to do like little comedy bits and things like that. But to just get it out there, man. Damn. But Facebook Live is powerful. I'm going to start utilizing that. The Facebook groups are powerful. I even just read an article that Facebook groups are now going to be part of the algorithm in Facebook. So if you have a very active group, you'll appear more in searches and things like that. So I think utilizing Facebook groups and just building a large digital community and just spreading the word that way is the focus from here, in addition to viral videos and things like that.
Right, dude. That's the name of the game. Facebook groups are powerful because we get to be the organizer, we get to be the host. You know, when you're the host of something, when you create an event, whether it's a seminar, a Facebook group, a podcast, create a platform, people are just like, they put you up on a pedestal. You know, they're like, oh my God, dude, Anthony started this group. He's amazing. Like, not that you're any better than them, but it just elevates your social value and your credibility.
Yeah, I just started my group, man. So it's small, only 30 members, but you know, getting up there. You
got to start somewhere, man. Got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So I'm hopefully by the end of February, I'll have over 100 though.
Yes, absolutely. So what is going to have people join your group and want to stick around and want to contribute and play at 110%?
Well, there's two groups. If you're into trading, or if you want to learn how to trade, I have a cryptocurrency group where, you know, we go over the charts, reading technical analysis, finding buy, sell points. So if you're into crypto, just find Anthony Larios on Facebook, send me a DM. I'll throw you in that group. or for the course, that's going to be a separate one. It's not remedial, but it's, it's more personal finance, how to get out of debt, how to save money, different tactics that you could do to cut costs, and how to deal with, the support systems or lack thereof. So I'm going to have two, one for actually trading and making money, and one for how to get to that point.
Love it. I love it, man. So it's like a baby steps kind of thing. One's like
Absolutely.
Getting the foundation in place. One is like, hey, you're a heavy hitter. Let's go. Let's come over to this group over here.
That's the thing with finance. It's a long game, man. Like, I'm barely scratching the surface of, like, playing with different investment strategies and things like that. But from $30,000 in debt to now, it's still like an 9-year period. So
damn, man,
it takes time, but then again, I'm 29. When I'm 39, where am I going to be? So it's this constant just patience, play the long game, chip away at it. And then, before you know it, you're already ready to do the next thing.
That's right, man. That's right.
But
awesome. So
the more you put in, the more you get out.
That's right. That's right, dude.
6-pack abs. You want that, if you want the 800 credit score, you got to work.
Yeah. And an investment in yourself, whether that's knowledge of finances, knowledge of fitness, knowledge of business, pays the highest return on investment long term.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Last year, 2017, I put the largest investment I've ever made, was in myself.
Yeah.
It was over 10,000 that I invested in just a mastermind, into just different conferences, networking events, things like that. And to be honest, it's one of the best things you can ever do. And because if there's compound interest on, let's say, if I'm getting a return in the stock market, and then, next year, the whole compound interest thing, just like that, compound knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
So going to these masterminds and learning one thing, and then using that knowledge to do another thing the next year, it just snowballs. And that return could be, much higher than any stock that you can ever pick, So compound knowledge, compound interest. And
implementation, execution is the key, right? Don't need more knowledge if you're not applying it. How do we apply the knowledge that we're getting? I think have that focus, have the outcome-driven mindset, because it's one thing to read The Power Now and just be like, hey, let's just go read a book. It's another thing to read it to say, how can I be ridiculously present and conscious in every single moment? And starting now, what are exercises I can do? What's a new framework, a new paradigm that I can step into right now?
Absolutely.
Dude. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anthony, we're beginning to wrap up. What are the final takeaways we want our audience to receive, and the new reality that they get to step into because of this interview, because they invested in themselves by investing their time here with us?
Awesome. Well, if you want to invest in yourself, you got to have the funds. And to do that, if you can, 15. If you can't do it, 10%, everything you make, every dollar you make, put that into its own account and let that be your investment money. And if you want to invest in yourself, which is the best investment you can make, you can do that. If you want to start a business, you could do that. If you want to invest in stock, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, if you just 10% goes to you, you're playing a winning game.
Beautiful.
That's my big message. That's how I tell everybody to do it. And so you can't invest money you can't afford to lose. So if you just set that 10% aside, you still get all your bills paid. If you lose that 10%, it sucks. But at least at that point, you're playing without emotion. You're making sound, logical decisions. And if you're gonna be an investor, that's the mindset you need to have. So,
dude, that emotion-driven decisions,
never works.
Like at times it's useful because you can make a commitment in a decision in that point where it's like, okay, it's like you're committed. You drew the line in the sand, no more, or this is who you are. This is the identity. And there's also like the daily, ooh, that's tempting. Let's make a decision that people end up regretting.
Yep, absolutely.
Dude, powerful, man. So Anthony, how do people stay connected with you? What do we want them to do next?
Well, you can follow me on social, Anthony Larios, Larios, AnthonyLarios.com. I tried to throw up a quick landing page. If you just connect on my email right there, just subscribe to the email list. And for everybody that subscribes until the course drops, I just want to give it to them for free, kind of like a beta test. So if you want, just head over there, find them there, and then when it drops, I'll let you guys in it, just so I can get some feedback, what you don't like, what you do like, what you want more of. And then, so we'll go from there. AnthonyLarios.com, Anthony Larios on all the social media. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful, bro. Dude, I love what you're doing. Love what you're up to. I'm excited to see what we continue to create together. Dude, are you going to $1 Billion Body Live this year?
Absolutely,
Dude,
man.
I'll see you there,
That's
man.
my fam.
June, baby. June. Ooh.
I'm excited.
Dude, you're a blessing. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for everyone's life who you touch. Everyone who's listening, go to AnthonyLarios.com. Follow Anthony. Be his friend. Join him on this crusade to bring awareness and education to the people.
Absolutely.
To spend,
Thank you, brother.
spend more effectively and save and invest and be brilliant and educated with your finances. Let's go, baby. Best day ever.
Love it, dude. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome, man. We'll see you soon, Anthony.
Sounds good.